Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another one. It's your favorite YouTuber, Nostalgia Bongheads, with the lesbian hat on, rocking the pink today. Or you can call me like the Pope. I don't know. Anyway, the Pope of Pokemon is back in town. Anyway, so we're going to start this video off talking about a few of my decisions. I have to make a clickbait title saying I'm selling everything. We're struggling. We have to sell fast. So the market's going to crash. We better all sell. So, first of all, we're going to start this video off with a couple interesting things, then I'm going to dive into the heavier stuff. So we're going to start off kind of in the light end of the pool, like a swimmer, like Michael Phelps taking bong rips. So, we're going to start off in the light end of the pool here, the baby end, and we're going to talk about this card right here, the Chi Yu EX, which I think is just, man, in person, it's actually a lot sicker card than you think. Like, it has gold all over it, but grabbing 3 of those. This card was like a pump and dump card, and I've been picking up a lot of pump and dump cards lately. Like the Drowsy, I want to pick up a lot more Drowsies from Scarlet and Violet base, but they're not really good investments. I still don't recommend doing this kind of shit, but if I find good deals on them, I just grab them anyway because it's like, fuck it. But like, I think there's like a $40 card at one point, and I mean, I picked all mine up for $10 each, so yeah, you can't beat that. Next one was Lickitung. The Umbreon. I picked up the Umbreon just because I sold mine, and mine was like perfect, and I regret selling it. The Erica's Invitation. Like, I know I showed you guys these earlier, but like, man, this was like a $40-$50 card, and it's like now they're $6. Like, you can't go wrong with that. The Alakazam. Now we have 2 of those. Let's see if this one's as nice as mine. Damn, that's almost as nice as the one I have. So the Iron Crown, man, I feel like this card's so slept on. It's like $45 right now. And like, honestly, dude, this card looks so fucking epically sick in person that I feel like it's just a card you should get. Damn, look at the back of that fucker. Look at that. You probably can't tell great with the camera angle, but it is mint. That's just a card I've wanted to pick up, and I figured since I had the chance, I might as well do it. And the mural, man, these are just sick cards. Like, just, yeah, so that's why I picked up some of this stuff, but I want to go deeper into the reason of why I'm selling and talk a little more about that. So it's not really like I need the money or really give a shit, but like there were a few reasons behind it. So first off, I like when someone hits me up. I like, this is something I've always enjoyed in the hobby, that if someone hits me up and they're like, "Hey, Nostalgia, I have like $3 grand. Like, how can I spend it? Like, what should I buy?" I enjoy like helping people spend their money. Like, I don't know why, but like I love to just like dig through my collection. And now if it's a collector or something, they're like, I want everything that just goes up. Like, what goes up, bro? What do you have that goes up? And I go through and I'm like, okay, well, these PCTBs go up. Like, you should probably grab this or this or this. But I really enjoy and I really enjoy whenever people hit me up and they want to rip something. They're like, man, what should I rip? Like, what's the best shit to rip? I have 3K. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do it. So, and like, it gives me a chance to kind of get rid of some of my like smaller stuff that I kind of like overextended myself buying that I didn't really need or really want. More or less, I didn't want. Like, I never overextend myself ever, but like, it was just stuff I really didn't want. And I do this a lot. Like, I will buy up people's collections like crazy, and like, when it comes to most people, like I want to explain the last deal I did. Um, they want rid of all of their stuff. Like, they don't want to just hit you up and sell you this blister. So you'll find this a lot on Marketplace. People do this a lot. Like, they want you to buy more. They don't want you to just buy the blister, like their only good thing. They want you to buy some Crown Dynasty and Sky boxes that they maybe got a deal on. They want to charge you a little bit more. They want you to buy Elite Trainer boxes you maybe don't want. They want you to buy, some poster collections or some booster bundles or some this or that and this and that. And I tend to build up a lot of stuff from doing that, of just, or they have some singles they want you to buy. So I tend to build up a lot of stuff from making those moves, like those Sea and Sky boxes. I bought those, like this whole rack of Fusion Strike with the blister packs and everything. I end up just buying a lot of shit that I don't even want, but they won't do the deal unless if I spend like another $700 buying random sealed shit. So like I just end up buying it, and whenever I get an opportunity that I can sell it to someone and just get my money back that I put in back, and get the main item I wanted, I sell. And that's always been my strategy, and I kind of stick to it, and it works well. Because it's like, for example, I paid $2,100 for my blister, the Sea and Sky boxes, and these Fusion Strike blisters, and some celebration stuff. If I can just get rid of the Crowns and Sea and Sky boxes I didn't want and get full price for them and not get taxed selling them, I'm going to do that. And it's not because I just need the money and have to sell and like, oh, I got to have the money. You're like, yeah, I could leave it sit around, and it wouldn't fucking matter to me. But if I have someone that already wants stuff and they're gonna rip it, and I get to see them like rip it, I'm gonna try to hook them up, like because I can just go buy more. Like I can go buy more Sea and Sky boxes right now, no problem. I can go find more Brilliant Stars booster boxes. I can go find more Temporal Forces. I can find fucking half of this stuff, or I can just put the money in more expensive cases, and that's my game plan: is putting the money in more expensive products and more expensive booster boxes. And that's why I'm kind of just liquidating. I wouldn't even call it selling, because I mean I've already spent the $3,000. You know what I mean? Like I've already spent the $3K buying that blister and buying this Fusion Strike PCE case. So like I've already spent the money, but I'm going to spend it again, and buy more shit. But like and that's what I do. I do that a lot. And you just have to make sure the numbers work. You just got to run the numbers, make sure they work, make sure you're not like giving someone like an extra fucking $500 in a deal or something like that. And as long as the numbers work pretty close, you're getting rid of a lot of stuff you had sitting around. And to be fair, those Sea and Sky boxes, they take up a lot of fucking room. They're big, they're bulky. I mean, here, I'll grab one. Like, these things are fucking huge. I mean, I have room. I have tons of bedrooms I can start filling up, but it's like, dude, these things are fucking huge. They're a giant fucking box. They take up tons of room. And even though I have room for it, they're just really awkward to store, and they're a pain in the ass. They get damaged easily, and I would just rather get rid of them. The next thing I want to talk about of why I'm selling booster boxes, not usually my favorite thing to do, but I've kind of changed my investing methods since I was younger, of just buying booster boxes and they go up. Like, yeah, they do, but it's really slow. And especially for like a $300 box or $200 box to go to 300, it just takes a while. And I just don't find that worth it, not really to me. So that's why I'm selling. I never wanted Obsidian Flames booster boxes. I never wanted Stellar Crown booster boxes. I never wanted Temporal Forces booster boxes. I never wanted any of them. But like I was getting them at 145 a piece. So yeah, I'm gonna sell them for 200 each now and just take my cash, put it somewhere else, accept a nice win. My Brilliant Stars box that's in that deal, I bought for $125. I'm selling it for 400. Like I'm just gonna take that and put it into bigger things like expedition blisters. Maybe buy a booster box of fucking Flash Fire or something cool. Like add money to it and buy a box of Flash Fire, or maybe some prismatic Pokemon Center TV cases, or just something that is going to do better than a bunch of booster boxes sitting around and having capital tied up. Like, I already got good gains, and sometimes you kind of just got to be realistic with some stuff and be like, I don't want all this shit. And that's kind of what happened, is like I bought Scarlet and Violet Era boxes I didn't even want, but just because I knew they were going to go up, like I knew they would hit $200. That was the goal. Buy a City of Flames booster box for $200. I mean, it's 160 or 150. I might even pay 140, and just sell it for $200. Like sell the Stellar Crown for 200. And not get taxed or any fees. It's just like cash. So like I shouldn't even have said that. Everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, we gotta get them for taxes. It's just going back into Pokemon, bro. So don't even like fucking give me that shit about taxes. Anyway, I already paid. Trust me, I pay enough fucking taxes. Jesus, I pay too many fucking taxes. So I don't even want to hear it. So anyway, we're back. talking about more of like why I sold and why I'm selling. So we have all those reasons. It's good to build a good rapport with streamers because they're going to recommend you to other people to shop with you and not deal with all these assholes. You know, they're going to say, "Wow, I had a great experience going through that guy. He just like set up like all of his boxes and said, 'Do you want this?'" And, you know, what seller does that? What seller sets up $3,000 in boxes and lets you take add and subtract stuff like they didn't want what was it? They didn't want the Brilliant Stars in there. No, it was like something I took out. We'll just say for the conversation, they didn't want Brilliant Stars. They wanted Twilight Masquerade instead. They wanted Twilight Masquerade boxes instead. So I took them out, added the thing to it. We made it work at around the $3,000 point. And like there's not a lot of people you can shop with like that do that like I do. Where I lay out stuff I think's a good recommendation for a ripper, and then they could say, well, no, we don't like open Brilliant Stars. We want to open up Twilight. Or we don't like Twilight. We want to open up Brilliant Stars, our 151 UPC, and I can swap that out, put it in a pile, take a picture of it, show it to you, and be like, here, you want this? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that works. And then we just agree to a deal. Pop, it's done. So um, I've always done that type of business. People tend to really like me for it. Most people. Some people think I'm a fucking asshole, which is totally fine. But I've always liked that. I've always liked shopping for people with people's money and saying, well, here, what if you get all this? I just find that fun. That's part of the hobby to me that I enjoy, and I enjoy getting rid of stuff that I don't really care about and buying stuff that I really believe in. Um, Long term. So that's partially why I've made this decision. I don't think, Scarlet and Violet is just going to tank to the ground or anything terrible is going to happen. I'm just moving Pokemon into different Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, I just spent 3 grand, so I'm going to sell 3 grand. I feel like I always just buy stuff and never sell stuff. People also call me on the channel. No, I don't really give a fuck about it. But everyone's always like, you never sell anything. You just buy, buy, buy. And I mean, yeah, that's the truth. We don't really sell. And this is probably the only time I'm going to sell for a while, a damn while. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably still sell. It just depends on who comes to me, and what day, what mood I'm in, and how I'm feeling, and if there's something else I want to buy. Like, it just all depends. So it's all circumstantial. But so that's partially why I made that move. I just think the money can be put in better spots. And like I said, I bought a lot of this stuff so cheap that it's just kind of time to move off of some of it and focus more on more cases. And I want to talk to you guys about cases. Now, this is where we're going to dive deep into the pool and talk about sealed cases. An Evolutions case is now $16,000. Check it. Check it if you don't believe me. I remember when Evolutions was $300 a box. It was mass printed. No one wanted it. It was $300 a box. You could buy a case for $1,800. It is now $16,000. An overprinted set that everyone hates. And honestly, I fucking hate Evolutions. I think it's one of the worst sets ever created. And it blows my mind it's going for that. No, I want to talk about this. What do you think Lost Origin cases are going to do in 4 years? This is why I've been telling you guys to get cases of Lost Origin and Fusion Strike, man. Like, it's money so well spent because you guys aren't in the era that I was in. Like 4 years ago, the era was more of like if you bought something and it doubled in price, it was just like, you need to sell it right now because you might not ever double your money again. You know what I mean? That was the era that we were in 4 years ago. Doubling your money was like unheard of. That you should buy and sell fast. And now we're just in the era of just you should just hold on forever. And it'll eventually be crazy expensive. And you know, looking back at that is like, so Evolutions is from 2016. Lost Origins from 2021. So we have like what, a 5 year difference? Imagine in 5 years from now. Do you think Lost Origin will be $16,000 a case? I think so. you know, I think so. And that's zooming out for a lot of you to see it. And this is why I've pushed Lost Origin and Fusion Strike cases of Pokemon Center and the booster box cases on this channel so heavily, is because if you just wait, like, you guys are so lucky in this hobby at this point. And I know prices are high and ridiculous, but you guys are lucky that it's just like you just buy it now and you just wait forever and you're going to be all right, because no one is going to like leave Pokemon anytime soon. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, so you're not in the like, oh, what if it just dies and no one cares? That's not a thing anymore. That's not a thing. So you're basically just in the era of just like buy Lost Origin cases, buy Chilling Rain cases, buy Fusion Strike cases, and just fucking wait. Like the chase card from Evolutions, the Charizard. I haven't checked prices on it recently, but I guarantee it sells less raw than the Giratina from Lost Origin. So when Lost Origin is 5 years old, when Lost Origin is 5 more years old, it's probably going to be a $20,000 case, man. And same with Fusion Strike, and same with Chilling Rain. That, like, I don't think everyone realizes. Yes, does it suck now that you couldn't have bought Lost Origin at $2,600? Yes, it does. You should have bought it at 2,600 when I was telling you to. But in the long run, if you don't need the money and don't care, like where I'm at, like, you can just hold on to it forever, dude. You can hold on to it for 5 years, and even if you're getting in a $4,000 a case for Lost Origin, even if you're paying the full price now, I think in 3 to 5 years, you're going to just be like blown away with how fucking expensive it is. Even by next year, like I'm predicting Lost Origin cases to be $7,000. Um, but that's just the point of this video, to try to get through to people that it's not going to get any better. And if a set like Evolutions, XY Evolutions cases are 16,000, and I want to make this clear: booster boxes are like 1,500. So a booster box is, if you buy 6 booster boxes, it's like $9,000. The case is 16. See, these case premiums really do matter as things get 5, 10, 15 years old. Like, the cases make a massive difference, and that's just the point, that the sealed cases are where it's at. And that's why, a big reason why I sold off a lot of my loose booster boxes, is because I just don't see a point in keeping them around when they're just going to go up a couple $100 here or there, when I could just buy more cases, and more expensive items, expensive vintage blisters, or use the money for some massive purchase. Um, so that's just the game plan of why I made the moves I'm making, and why they were smart as fuck, in my opinion, and why you should still keep an eye out for like a Fusion Strike PCETB case, man. I'm telling you, you're going to see those be $3,000 to $5,000 very soon. So I think that covers everything. We got our goofy cancer survivor hat on, and yeah, pretty productive night for the night talk. Oh, someone said, well, you got rid of your Champions Path ETBs. Like, you were invested in those. I mean, yeah, we did. We got rid of 2 of them. There's still like 6 of them down there. We still got a bunch of Champions Path. I mean, I'm not really sweating it. I bought them for like $80. I sold 2 of them for like 140-ish each. Like, I'm pretty happy with that and that deal. So sometimes you just kind of got to take the gains and just be like, fuck it, I can go buy more Pokemon. As long as I buy it like fast and don't wait around, it's not really going to make a difference. I could go buy more Champions Path ETBs if I need to, which I would rather just chill on the ones I have and go buy something expensive like an Expeditions blister, pack of 3 or something like that. So that's why I sold off a lot of my loose boxes. If the Champions Path ETBs were in a sealed case, I would have never sold them. But yeah, the fact they're just regular ETBs, it's nothing I'm that worried about. Like I said, I have 5 more when they go up, so it just is what it is. But yeah, so that's why I made some of the genius moves that I made. And yeah, so it isn't like that, like I need the money. Like I said, it's just like I don't need the products that have just built up over buying people's collections, and you're gonna get that. Like, I have a bunch of fucking 151 booster bundles from buying someone's collection. I have, like, this is just shit that's left over from just buying big collections off of people. Like, what else I have left over? Like, my 151 Pokemon Center ETB. You know, like, this was just something that I bought in a collection for 450, and like, I was trying to just get rid of it because it was just an extra ETB. But now the prices have been going up. It's like, fuck it. I've just decided to keep it. So I was going to throw my 151 UPCs in that deal. And then I started looking at the price, and I'm like, damn, the bitches are like fucking 450. Some crazy psycho was asking $5,000 for a fucking 151 UPC. I'm like, God, if they ever hit that, that would be so nuts. That is never happening though. Like, he was just a goofy ad just to laugh at. But yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting 151 UBCs. I'll just keep holding those and see what happens. Maybe it gets worse. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. The Charizard UPCs too. They've been going up a lot, man. Like I'm surprised the Charizard UPCs aren't more than the 151 UPCs. I think it's just a better UPC than the 151 one. But yeah, like 151 UPC sealed cases are like $2,700 right now, which is nuts. And like the Charizard UPC one's like 1,300. But man, I know so many people like last year that they turned down Charizard UPC cases for like $400. And they're like fucking 3 to 4x that now. That man, it's just crazy how things change. Today's prices are not tomorrow's prices. So that's why you should just continue to chill in your stuff. Let it get old, man. Let the gains set in. But, some stuff, like I said, when you get too much stuff, it does not hurt to get rid of some things. Even if you don't need the money, to just be realistic and be like, and look around your collection and say, what hasn't went up in a while? Like that I really don't think is going to go up that fast. It's good to look around your collection and say, okay, Chilling Reign, you haven't went up in a while, you're getting sold. Which I'm not selling my Chilling Reign. But, to look around and say, okay, well, Champion's Path went up a little bit, I'm going to sell it. Obsidian Flames, I bought at 140, it's $200. It hasn't went up in like a year since then. I think it's been sitting at 250 forever. We're going to sell it. Stellar Crown, I bought it like 145, it's 230 now. Yeah, I'll sell it for $200. I don't care. Like, to thin out the herd, and sometimes less is more, and in this case, less is more with having a Pokemon Center ETB case and a blister. So sometimes you just got to do that and clear out stuff you don't really want, and that's basically why I made that decision. Even like weird stuff, like I have a Mewtwo V Union box I bought in someone's collection, and that I just held on to because it looks fucking cool as hell. But yeah, some of this stuff, it's just like, it got bought in big collection deals, man. And you gotta thin it out sometimes. Or you're just going to have, like, every room filled with fucking stupid shit like Sea and Sky boxes and, like, Temporal Forces booster boxes. And just, you're just better freeing up the money and putting it in better stuff sometimes, I think. So that's why, I actually sold for once, which is a big shocker. And like I said, I feel like we're in a buy mode, that we should sell something. Makes you kind of feel like you don't just spend money all the time and never make money. So, so yeah, it was just time to sell. It's time to let go of some stuff and use the money for better things. So, and you guys will see that on the channel. We'll put it to something crazy. I just have to drum some ideas up in my mind and see what deals we find on Marketplace. You gotta love Facebook Marketplace. You never know. Like, I might get lucky, find another fucking Hall of Thanos blister for like 1,300. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. You might get lucky. So that's why we're making the moves. Like I said, I wanted to sell those Sea and Sky boxes as soon as I got them in that deal, because the guy forced me to buy them to get the blister. And that's just how business works in Pokemon sometimes. Everyone forces you to buy shit. Especially if you want them to drive to you. They're going to be like, oh, well, you better buy this, 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 and this, or I'm not doing it, Or I want to sell my whole collection at once. And yeah, sometimes you just got to do that just to make the fucking deal happen. And then when someone hits you up and they say, hey, I want more, what seal do you have? You can sell all that to them. And it's kind of like a win-win. You make everybody happy. you end up buying, someone's collection, and it's just kind of a win-win. You buy someone's collection, you make them happy, you give them money. um you're happy because you got the main product you wanted, like the blister, and the streamers you're selling to are happy because they got a bunch of sealed product. So it's just the cycle of life, and why you really shouldn't be afraid to sell sometimes and take your profits on stupid shit. So that's just the point of this video is sometimes you have to take your profits on stupid shit. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Man, this went for 25 minutes and longer than I thought. If you guys stuck around and watched this, you're a fucking real fan, man. We love you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. That's all we have for the night talk, and we're out.